On the road again.
I just had a funny go
twice.
through my head because Breesy just said, "Oh, he's he got his tea a little too early," and he's drinking his tea out of a normal sized cup. But if you watch him, the cup is like bigger than his head. So this gives you
It's
an
not a
indication
normal
of how
size cup.
this gives you an indication of how large Breesy is. And everybody thinks, "Oh, you're just
I'd
making
just like
fun
to
of him,
put
calling
that
him a
out there.
hobbit."
This is
He
not a
is just a
normal-sized
little.
cup.
He's a little guy, lives in the Shire.
Right.
I
Here's
used
the
to
big
live in the
cup.
Shire.
Here's
See?
the normal size cup.
Uh-huh.
The big cup has vast girth.
And
One
what
bought
he's
from
calling the
People's
little
Store.
cup, that's a shooter glass with a handle on it. It was funny because you took a drink and like it hid your whole face.
Yeah, it's got some serious girth on this one.
We're
That's
still
what
talking about the cup,
It's
right?
it's the hangover mug.
Well, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes,
It's
welcome to
Happy
the
New
show
Year.
that never ends
Yeah,
because it
it's
never
January,
begins.
January 5th, and I'm going to start. Here we go. You're watching Mods on Air.
2 FPS, 3 RPGs, and 5 sim-type games.
Yeah.
I think you'd be able to come up with one here.
I'm actually pulling this one hard.
Ask all the people that need hacks to play Call of Duty. I can hear you groaning
Oh, yeah.
inwardly every time Sin's mentioned. You're just cringing.
Anyway, welcome to episode 408 of Mods on Air, bringing you the week in gaming news as modders, developers, and gamers ourselves. I am foyleman, and also on the show today we have with us Welshy. Hello, Welshy.
Hello.
And we have with us Ham. Hello, Ham.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, and Breezy's with us. Hello, Breezy.
Hello.
And Stryder. Hello, Stryder.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, so we are recording before a live audience, so things will happen, good and bad. We'll possibly post a relevant URL into the chat window in case you care to follow along. And for other links that are posted, don't know where they go. But things that you really need to watch out for is the language and adult themes that are going on around here.
That we're going to say.
Mhm.
Yes.
It may be offensive to you and your family, and you may want to run.
Or you may want to kill your family.
Yeah.
Yes. I vote for the second one.
Well, there's that.
It's something worth considering. I'm not going to guide you towards an answer.
I'm just saying you could get a house out of it.
Ham's got like the perfect voice for subliminal messaging too. I'm going to guide you. I'm not going to tell you to kill your parents. However, should you choose so, I won't judge you.
Or I won't judge you.
All right.
Do it. Do it.
We started the day with no topics, and then Ham woke up. And now we
Yeah,
have
and
plenty
put
of
lots
them.
on.
So
Well, there wasn't no topics. It was just there was
There were topics.
not a lot of
Yes.
super interesting topics. 2014 is
I had
coming in
7
like
new
2013
topics.
out.
7 new topics. That's all I had.
And
Doesn't
now
mean
we
that's
have
all we have to talk about. We have quite a few. There's quite a few.
There-
There's
and now we have lots.
double
At
that.
least 7
And
new ones.
if you guys get bored, it's because of Ham.
And
I'd say
if I
the
miss
blame for
something,
this.
if you miss something, I'll take the blame for that one. All right. DDoS attacks. There's been some attacking going on. Various. I don't want to say websites. I want to call them gaming networks. How about
They're
that?
the server systems or whatever. Yeah, denial of service attacks,
Make sure no one's
specifically
watching.
targeting.
This little derp trolling piece of shit needs to go away. Needs to get stomped on.
Wow.
You hear the
But,
ear, folks.
Mhm.
You just made your opinion well
Yep.
known.
Yes, if I am. Yes, if I. No, I can't say that because then it's premeditated. Never mind. Go on.
Wow.
Because it's premeditated. Swear to God, it just happened. There was no premeditation here whatsoever.
So this group.
Yeah,
or-
so if you couldn't log into Steam was targeted, Origin was targeted, then the EA login servers were targeted. no word on whether he's gone out or they've gone after any of the other digital download sites like GOG or anything like that.
No, because they're the good guys.
Are you dead?
No,
Foil?
no. Just the
Oh,
camera's
moving.
completely frozen.
But
I don't
it's
care.
frozen in such a pose as to make him look
Stop.
very noble.
Foil time. Boom.
You could easily put like an admiral's hat on that, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could.
Morpheus at the derp goddess.
Yeah. Yeah, he's now attacking you, Foil. So now it's premeditated be retaliation.
Mm. Anyway,
They
what's
move
going on
fast.
is he's DDoSing, attacking places like Steam, Origin, EA, Battle.net, League of Legends, all kinds of places like that, and making it so that people cannot play games, and then turning around and saying, "Oh yeah, well, you know, it's the server's fault because they don't have enough protection on it." So there you go. I'm just showing you.
No,
Yeah,
that isn't. I don't
Send
know if
out
it works. That
the
reasoning works.
That's like robbing a bank and going, yeah, well, I'm just showing you how easy it is.
Your money's not
Not my
protected.
fault they gave me the money.
It reminds me of the plot of Die Hard 4. That's what this reminds me.
That movie had a plot?
I think so.
I thought that the plot
I
of
read
that
the
film
wiki.
was just Bruce Willis is old.
Bruce Willis is old. Needs more money. I know. Let's make Expendables 3.
Because we didn't say enough in Expendables 1 and 2. Not everyone was expended.
That's right.
Including John.
That is
Paul.
true.
Leave no action hero unturned.
Wesley Snipes is going to be in Expendables 3, just so you all know. So,
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
yes.
Yeah.
He's going
Blade
to be
is
fighting
back.
vampires.
Nah, he's gonna be picking up guys from the car.
Wesley Snipes is Demolition Man.
Oh wait, that was Eddie Murphy? No, that was him.
That
Or
was
it
I
says-
don't-
No, Eddie Murphy was the banana in the tailpipe.
That's right. Thank you.
Arrest warrant, just showing you how easy it is.
All right.
Hello, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
How are you doing that, Ben? Ben, you have 2 logins, Ben.
The bin.
Yeah. So now we have 2 Bens.
Well,
We'll have
that's
all the-
just that's too confusing for me.
The second
much.
Ben or the first Ben?
I just there's too many now. I don't know what to do.
It's like a Ben kind of day. The double Ben day. This is a stupid show. I don't know why people watch us.
We are never going to finish the show.
Anyways,
Anyway, moving on to
so
Battlefield.
Topics.
some breaking news.
Unless you want to,
Yeah,
what's that?
breaking news on Battlefield 4.
Oh, breaking news. Yes, it's got problems.
Still shit.
Still,
It still sucks.
Still has
Still broke.
connectivity issues. Yes.
God.
I thought of
Yeah.
breaking news as a pun, because it's broken.
hey, that is good.
I like it. Yeah.
The
They were going
best
to have double
puns
X.
are unknown puns.
They were going to have double XP weekend this weekend, but they decided to not do it because things aren't working as well as they had hoped. They're broken. They and there's some people trying to create up lawsuits now as a result of this. They want to say that people are giving you money for a game and it is broken. Somebody must have known it was broken.
Well, it wasn't
But-
broken when it was released. It was broken after they did things to help.
Or
I don't know,
broken.
is that the case?
They were. I mean, it was clear that the game wasn't in great shape when they released it.
Yeah, but it's clear like that about every game that's being released these days.
That's also true.
All these AAA titles that are coming out are nothing more than a bunch of flashy Hollywood with trying to cover up or compensate for an unfinished product with lackluster gameplay.
The
So
other
they
problem is
release
nobody
patches.
tests anything anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you could say the same thing about the new Call of Duty when it came out that had the aliens that they had to disable.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Call of Duty
yeah.
Goats.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nobody's saying anything about that.
Yeah,
but the
see?
same problem. It's
Well,
I don't care.
Yeah.
It's EA typical. Oh, it's typical EA, and if you bought the game, you shouldn't be surprised. Culture goes.
Yeah, true that.
that's a bad joke.
Oh, and we've hit the bottom of the barrel. There it is.
No, we haven't.
Just a few minutes in.
Next, we'll be looking under the barrel and
There's
around
another
on the floor.
40 minutes of free fall left.
Here are some of the problems with the games, though. We're talking about hit markers and crosshairs sometimes disappear. A rubber banding issue where players with a solid internet connection.
So
No hit effects on damage and no damage to opponents that are in your sight.
Issues.
All the things you love on a first-person shooter.
Right.
Yeah.
That enhance the experience. What I really don't understand is this is so close to Battlefield 3, at least from looking at it. How could they get it so wrong with 4 when it's like nearly the same game? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't
Same
understand
problems
that at
as
all.
3. They didn't fix
They
any of the
seem to
problems.
be like amplified by like 10 times.
It
Yeah.
wasn't as bad with 3. I remember that. It was. I remember there were
Yeah.
issues to begin with, but it wasn't anywhere near as.
Yeah, careful now because it was. But the thing is they've tried to. Battlefield 3, they implemented this Origin to the point of if you don't play through Origin. So they blamed everything that was going on with the game on Origin because that was kind of its test bed for this thing. Origin was the first game. BF3 was the first game that required you to have Origin running, and so they were like, "Oh no, it's an Origin issue. Oh no, it's this Origin games server search engine that's causing these issues." Now they've got the same problems, but they can't blame it on Origin anymore because they've had over a year to fix them, and they've said, "Oh no, they're all fixed. They're all fixed. They're all better." Here's Battlefield 4. It's the same issues, plus there's other issues now, and they can't deflect anymore saying it's this. Now it's come back full circle and saying, you know what? It's the game. Sorry. It was the game a year ago with BF3.
It's just weird though because you would expect the bugs that they stomped out with Battlefield 3 and all of its DLC and all that stuff, all those issues they addressed, to at least not crop up in Battlefield 4. Maybe they haven't, but you would expect them to have had the experience at this point with Origin, with the Frostbite engine, to not have this level of just brokenness at release. And it's just really surprising. They've got to postpone double XP weekends. Like, I don't ever recall that having to happen, that Battlefield 3 was ever in that broken of a state.
At this point, I'm not going to say that EA is to blame. Maybe I think they are partly to blame, but they are to blame for not fessing up, taking the heat on this. They're just like, oh, they're being fixed. At some point, they have to turn around and say, listen, we realize there's some issues, and we're going to do whatever they're going to do about it. And I don't just mean throw back at the devs and say fix it. I mean, like, I don't know, offer the ability for a refund for some people, or I don't know what they can do.
If that's the case, I should get a refund for Battlefield 3 because until very recently, actually, well, not very recently, but until I purchased an entirely new computer with an entirely different operating system, with an entirely different graphics card setup and GUI setup, Battlefield 3 was unplayable for me. Mm-hmm. Battlefield Bad Company 2, I can go all the way back to then, when with all of the feedback that was given by players with ATI cards, and when the game came out, they did nothing. And it was probably 7 months afterwards that they finally implemented the patches that they implemented during the beta into the final retail product as patches, so that everybody that was, helped them develop the product in beta stages could play the game again.
Yeah. I don't know. really like to sort of visit these studios at some point and just see what their process is, why it takes so long to get certain things done.
Is it EA or is it DICE?
Well, yeah, that's.
Or is
I just
EA
wonder.
DICE?
Was it a combination of
versa.
both? Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if there is actually a large amount of kind of red tape, and not saying that it's not DICE's fault, but I just wonder how easy. Is it? Oh no, we have to put everything through the shareholders, and we have to put. And then you'd be sitting there going, no, well, this will fix the problems, yes, but it will allow people to, they won't want to buy the DLC this way. I just imagine there are a lot of conversations like that.
Yeah.
I concur. I bet money that there is actually more talks about monetization and further monetization of the product, or how can they, finger in more money out of your wallet than there is about how can we provide a better product.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's today's society too. The kids today, and it's transferring to the adult community as these kids get older. But it's all about that immediate gratification. Now you need it. No, don't you start damn those kids today. And unfortunately, we end up just as guilty sometimes of what. You go upstairs and you're cooking supper, or you go order supper, at a restaurant, and if it's 10 or 15 minutes coming out, well, hey, it's 10 or 15 minutes to sit there with your date and have a glass of wine or whatever. But if someone says it's going to take estimated wait time 2 minutes for your download to complete, that is fucking forever in internet time. and that's what everybody is all about. The previous generation was termed the me generation. I don't know what they're going to term the generation after the me generation, but you get this me generation with the me, now. Mm-hmm. And so you've got those people now coming into power, and they're saying, all right, I've given you the money. I want my money back now. Give me my money now. Give me my profits now. So they don't care what the product goes out as. They just want that immediate turnaround of dollars. And I don't know what the solution to that is. People have to start producing games for the love of producing games again.
That's why they
remove the monetization. It looks
better. I just wish
the stream died.
Was better. Where
to the 18th century.
We were talking about
Let's poll the audience.
No.
See if they were paying attention.
That's not fair because I wasn't paying attention.
So any answer they give could potentially be right.
Yeah.
Depending on who's judging.
Okay, we are on to 13.
13.
Number 13.
Lucky 13.
Why am I looking at the topic? Let's just make it up.
You can't read.
I can't read. Damn, there's no pictures. What's this all about?
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, number 13. Marvel games disappear from Steam, Xbox Live, PlayStation Network. A game such as Deadpool is yanked.
Why is that?
Mystery.
That is, indeed. Let's see. They say something about somebody's Activision losing the license for Marvel licensed titles. And so any game that Activision had suddenly disappears because they no longer have the license to distribute it or...
Well, because it doesn't, or at least for the movie rights, I think Sony has the Spider-Man, whereas somebody else, I can't remember who, has, say, the X-Men one. It's like 3 different companies have 3 different... It's why... you'll never see like Wolverine and the other Spider-Man in the Avengers movie, because the licenses are owned by 3 completely separate companies. I don't know if that's the same for the video games though.
That's interesting and stupid.
Of course it is. But
yeah.
GamesIndustry.biz has verified that the deal between Marvel and Activision has ended. This implies a change in the 2005 contract they signed. Blah, blah, blah. The problem with that is if I've purchased a game on Steam, and it's a Marvel game, which is now owned by Disney,
Right.
does that mean that that game is no longer playable on Steam because it's no longer part of the Steam catalog?
I believe it's still in your library. I do believe you can download it forever. It's just they still have the data. They just can't sell it anymore.
So they can't sell it. Can they update it?
Probably can't be updated.
So if it's broken, it's broken.
Yeah. Is that viable? Does anyone actually have a Marvel game in their library?
No.
I don't
I
think
don't think so.
I don't know. I might. I bought so much shit on Steam sales a couple of years ago. I could have bought the entire friggin' library and not know it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody's going to miss Deadpool in particular.
Isn't
I don't think that's so
Batman
great.
Marvel?
I heard that was bad.
No, it's DC.
Batman is DC.
That's DC.
Well, it's interesting the way these licenses are working. That it means that any one of your games could suddenly disappear because of whatever reason.
Well, that's the thing though? Is it being pulled from people's libraries or just from the storefront?
It is not
I
being
don't
pulled
believe
from
it's-
their libraries.
So then your game's not just going to randomly disappear.
No.
It's possible, I suppose, but
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Sure,
Yeah,
it's
we-
possible.
Does that mean you get your money back?
Well, it's already sold. Because that's the equivalent of somebody sort of having bought, I don't know, a toy or something of Wolverine, and then the company not having the license to produce that toy anymore, and sort of somebody from Marvel coming and saying they don't have the license for this.
Give us back
we'll
that
have to
toy.
take-
Give me that toy.
You know what? I can totally see that happening in today's day and age.
Yeah.
Give me back that toy.
Do I
I'll
get a
just follow
refund?
them
No.
around and
That's
watch
the
There's
choice
some
you made.
DLC for this toy that you didn't pay for.
God.
I am.
All these toy industry execs are like, interesting.
yeah.
Great idea.
Look where you've started. You've ruined the next infinite number of Christmases.
You get to play with this toy for 2 weeks out of the year. Other than that, it's going to be broken. There's going to be optional or quote unquote optional DLC. That
No, you're getting it all wrong. It's going to be subscription based from now on.
subscription based
Pay
toys.
monthly for your toy.
15
We realize you've bought this toy, but in order to play with it,
and at some point your account will be hacked, so you'll have to get a new account.
You know, you think it's a joke, but I swore late last year I read a story about a company that started up that was going to get into the business of renting toys. I'm almost certain that is the case. I'll have to look into it later.
renting toys like so
As
you
in-
can have your kid chewing on something that other people have drooled all over.
Yes.
It's called toy. It's called Toys Trunk. Need a
Is that
toy?
it?
Don't buy it. Rent it.
That's it.
No.
That's found it.
Yeah. Or there's also rentthattoy.com.
We live in a
Just-
sick world.
Yeah.
Honestly, both of those sound a lot. Well, the first one, the name of the company sounds like a Utah-based company, Toy Trunk. Get your toys from the Toy Trunk. The second one sounds a lot more redneck, like southern states, swamp people kind of.
Rents toys and banjos.
And then you can get right down. You can get right down to the
Their only
specifics.
toys are like Jesus action figures.
There's Plego where you can rent Legos.
No, that'd be gross.
I
No,
can just
yeah,
be-
I don't want. Yeah.
Don't return
No.
a piece.
No returnsies, no take backsies.
This had 257 pieces. You returned 256. I'm gonna have to charge you for the whole set.
No,
Yeah.
no. Have a look again because I think there's one piece that comes apart there that I may not have. But you took that enjoyment away from somebody else of building that. Like rent a puzzle.
This what this does is I think this invites people to start pirating the game. If there's no legal ways to get these games anymore, if they cannot be sold, then they're gonna find a way to get them for free now. So now that just happened.
Here's the thing that I don't understand about that. If company A, and in this instance it's Activision, has the license to sell these games are produced during that period of time when they're licensed. how does that license expire? That game is owned. That the rights for that game is owned this period of time by this company. Just because Marvel decides to have a different company looking after it, whether it's Sony or EA or whatever, from this point on, the games prior to that don't belong to EA.
Yeah.
So how can they be removed from the store?
What I
I'm
do
not quite
notice
familiar with that either.
is all of the games that are listed here, to the best of my knowledge, were absolutely awful. And I think that may be more what it's to do with, particularly the Deadpool one. I know a lot of people were quite excited about the Deadpool game,
Yeah.
only
Lego
to discover
Marvel.
that it was horrible.
So Lego Marvel Superheroes is off the list, right? I got that in the other room.
It's not on that list now.
And that was available on Steam. So is that one of the ones that's gone?
Well, no, because that's not with Activision, I guess, because that's with Traveler's Tales or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And Lego.
Oh,
I
that's
suppose.
right. Deadpool is in the game, but it's okay. That game is okay. Yeah, I see.
Well,
what you're
yeah,
saying.
it's not because of the character licenses. I guess it's. I would take a guess that just the games are shit, and they found a way to get rid of them.
I mean,
Quite a few
Marvel
Spider-Man
Heroes
games
is
are
that
gone.
free-to-play game.
Yeah.
I'm confused. I'm still confused by the logistics of it, though, because if I, you can go put that into, whether it's a produced toy or whatever. It's produced under license, and the license was had from this time to this time. You can't go and make any new ones, but why did the old ones disappear?
I guess
Yeah.
every digital copy is considered
Yeah,
a
I
new
don't
one.
understand that.
But you're not making that game. You're not making it new. You're just selling
but you're
stock
selling
that
it.
you have.
I don't know.
I'm very confused by that issue.
Maybe it's a license to produce as well. So when you're the
But if
digital
you're not-
games,
If it's already gone gold, it's considered produced and done. You're not creating any new content. It's something that's done, wrapped, end of story. What's the difference between a digital download of it and a hard copy disc? Going to the store and purchasing. Does this mean that all of the copies of these games that are on Walmart shelves have to be returned to Marvel? Probably not.
Maybe these companies are just removing it from their library because they don't want any trouble. They're avoiding trouble by doing this as opposed to just letting it happen.
Having to.
these are great questions. I'm going to look into this and then report back next week
Awesome.
with some details.
Cam homework.
And work.
Work. Yeah, it's because these are great questions. And I don't know the answer, but I'd be really interested to know exactly how it works. And because yeah, like you said, Stryder, it seemingly doesn't make sense. The game is already done. Why remove it now?
Are you gonna call your contacts at Valve and say what the fuck?
If I need to.
Gabe, buddy, put the sandwich down. Answer a couple questions.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna find out.
One game that is still on the shelf though, Rekoil. Rekoil is hits PC
Jeez.
on January 28th, Xbox Live on January 29th, so that's later this month.
I feel this should have been out a long time ago.
It should have been.
How
They,
long
uh,
has
I
it been?
remember playing this months and months ago.
I can only remember back for 4 years that I've seen this game going on, so I'm wondering how long it's going. And does a 4-year development justify a price, a low price of $15? Is that going to make your money back? 4 years of work?
I
Here's
hope so.
here's the thing. I played Rekoil every PAX we go to. We've had them on the show, and yes, they're an indie developer. It's great. I don't know that that's a $15 game. It's a multiplayer only game. I see this kind of being like, I mean, you look at what we're going to compare this to now. CS:GO is a $15 game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Big
that's exactly
difference.
what I was going to say. It's-
CS:GO is also on sale almost every second week for 70% off. So you can get this $15 game for $3.
Now, here's the thing. I played Recoil. They had an open beta. It was weird. It wasn't straightforward how to get into it, but it was an open beta. I got into it. pretty much right up until they decided we're pulling the plug for the beta. It's going to come out in a couple months, and I think they really nail their goal of making it feel like a Call of Duty game. As far as environments go, it looks just like a Call of Duty game.
1. That was the one thing that I think we all noticed, is that they were trying to nail Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty UO, which, yes, there's a huge fan base for that, but the game mechanics, the no waiver scoping and things like that, where it's all just point click shoot. You're getting that nostalgic feel of gameplay, rather than playing with the new how can I say it, the mechanics and innovations and things like that have gone into games. So they've really simplified the game. I'm not 100% sure why it took so long to create, like you said, the Call of Duty feel, because every one of these members of this, well, I shouldn't say every one of them, but the core of this development team are all most definitely Call of Duty modders from back in the day. So this is just a matter of mapping for whatever engine you're going to choose to map it on, and throwing the models in, which most of them probably were pre-existing. So I don't quite understand the long development of this game title either.
I think they just I was just gonna say, I think they had probably some grand ideas, and then they realized this is not working out well, so let's try something new, or let's reduce what we were gonna throw in. Because I know there was at least one huge sort of, we're gonna stop what we're doing and kind of start over. And I think we covered that many months ago on the show.
Yeah.
So based on the games that I played during the beta, I can say the environments look straight out of something like Call of Duty. And I'd say that's a good thing, not necessarily a bad thing, because that was one of the goals they were going for. So environmentally looks great. The character models, not so much. They're well enough, but they could use just a bit more flair. The weapons seem a little decent, if not in balance. Some of the guns seems like they need to change some of the fire rates or something like that. Hopefully that stuff changed between the beta and release. And in the UI was pretty unintelligible. In some cases it was unintelligible, but yeah, pretty basic. So if they can fix the UI, maybe enhance the player models, do some weapon balance, give it just a little coat of polish, they're good. Maps, I think the maps are fantastic in terms of production value, but
and that's the thing. Like this was a development studio that basically was founded by mappers and modders. So you had your coders, you had your perfect storm there, and they've come up with, like you said, they've replicated a game in another engine.
Right.
Yeah.
For lack of better way of putting it, does it justify the $15 game or price point? I think is the bigger question here.
Based on what I played, I'd say no.
Yeah, you have to.
I would say no as well.
You have to be able to say, all right, we're going to set our price point somewhere. We don't want to undervalue it. We don't want to overvalue it. If this game would have come out 2 or 3 years ago, it just seems like too long of a development cycle, and not blaming this on anybody, just saying it was a neat concept when it was announced.
Yeah.
And it just seems to have stagnated maybe a little bit too long.
The other thing is they're aiming as well to kind of revitalize the modding community, which is a valiant idea, but again, when you're just kind of replicating, and there are other things I think people would rather mod for right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just kind of the way, and it's probably to do with the long development cycle that it's taken so long.
Right. I really think that if they lower the price, maybe between $5 and $10, and they really put out, I don't know, just were aggressive in putting out some mapping and modding tutorials, that this could really take off, because you can sort of see the potential for modding. People can sort of make it more like the latest Call of Duty if they want it, or less like it. And there's some potential there. It's just I don't think it's at the $15 level yet. Between $5 and $10, yeah.
Well, you can
It's
pre-purchase
worth
it
splurging.
for $10.50, but again, you're running the risk of pre-purchasing a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, these guys have got my full support. I wish them all the best.
Yeah.
I just felt like it.
But I'm not going to play it.
I'm not going to buy it probably until I can get it for about $5, and that's granted that there's a community there. It's still making content or still playing. I really think the potential is there. I want this to be successful. I really do.
I guess my biggest problem with this is I already own this game. It's Call of Duty. It's Call of Duty you own. I've already got the modding tools for it. I don't know. All it is they've essentially put new character models in it, and they've essentially put new weapon models in it, and they've captured the experience of the multiplayer of Call of Duty. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
We'll see. I hope we're wrong.
I didn't rate it highly.
It's to me, it was lacking that fun factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we played it on LAN in the conference, it had
or the
major issues.
Was it lacking the fun factor, or was it just that I've been numbed to that fun factor because I've already done that?
You could not get submersed into the game, and the way it is played, it allows for too many frustrations to occur. Therefore, you can never enjoy it. You're always frustrated a little.
Yeah, it didn't have the fun factor for me, and it also didn't have added extra factors. Like, I play Counter-Strike now. That, to me, is not technically fun when I'm playing a competitive match. It's just more sort of, don't know what the word I'm looking for.
Practice.
Immersive.
Something else, anyway. Yeah, sort of immersive, I suppose, is better. And I didn't feel that from it either. So it didn't have either of the two going for it.
So I hope they added that coat of polish that they needed between beta and release.
And that's just it. I mean, we've all played the beta. We've not played the final release. So
correct.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. 505 games. Unfortunately, there's been a string of games that 505 has popped out that have not performed well in the community's mind. In their audiences, they've been off the mark. So
I hope they're doing something good for Plastic Piranha. I don't care what their record is. I mean, that's really what it is. That's what it's about. They're the publisher.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Over to Titanfall. We were talking about some modding and stuff like that. They say that they're going to remove modding. I didn't even know Titanfall was going to have modding. Titanfall is the one put together by
it was
the guys
never going to have modding.
It was
Jump.
Yeah.
They just said that to sell copies.
Yeah. We're going to evaluate it post-release. You're not doing anything.
We're creating a game completely for the Xbox. It's going to get ported to PC. Oh yeah, and to get the PC players on board, we have to tell them it's going to maybe have modding. Okay.
You know what I find interesting about that though is this is West and Zampella, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of their big things with Activision, where they were leaving, was they made us do like DLC, and they made us do. Yeah, interesting. So you go to EA, and now they're doing the same thing.
Yeah. It's
so on the other side of the coin. If it did have modding afterwards, if it's on the Xbox, surely it's just going to be drag and drop.
Right.
I don't understand what kind of modding that they're going to be introducing yet.
They weren't. That's the point. It's just I would take a shot and say they just said that so the PC players will buy it.
Yeah, they know it's going to be. So if they came right out and said there's going to be no modding, they know that's a PR mess right away.
Yeah.
But to say that we'll evaluate it after release is sort of a non-answer, because really after release you're going to be producing additional content if it's not already made, or you're going to be sort of patching things. That's what your evaluation is going to be, not on should we release mod tools.
Well, and mod tools are a expense. You have to make it so that it runs on 90% of the people's computers. You have to invest time in providing, unless you do what Rage did. Here's the mod tools that we used.
Yeah.
Best of fucking luck, because we know they're not going to work for you, and we're not telling you how to use them. So
Yeah.
here's a
We're
rope.
figuring it
Yes,
out.
piss up it.
Yeah, I can't find any information on as to what kind of modding they're talking about. I mean, they're talking about modding and mapping tools, but even when they state that, it could just be creating missions.
Right.
Yeah.
If you look at EA and you look at sort of their legacy of games, their line of games, you can determine that EA is just not a publisher that looks favorably upon user-generated content. They just don't.
And that's not even just looking that hard. That's their news releases.
Yeah.
We want to monetize every aspect of every game in our library. Paraphrasing there, but that's the gist of their corporate mission. We want to overcharge you for a game, and then we want to monetize every aspect of that game post-sale.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to think that the issue with the developers was that they didn't have time, that they were being forced to do so much other stuff that they couldn't create tools and support it and that kind of stuff, so they didn't want to move forward with it. But now maybe this whole time is because the publishers were trying to find ways to resell or sell more copies, sell more games.
Well, you can't charge people DLC for like extra maps and stuff when you can make your own.
That's it.
Right.
That
It's
are
like-
more that are and
That
the
are better,
argument,
yeah.
The argument with it is generally the user created content is better. I mean, you always get the ones that the maps with the little secret room that only the map creator knows about how to get in there, and but there is genuinely a large amount of spectacular user generated maps.
Think of the original Call of Duty. Some of the maps that I played during my time playing that game were the best ones were custom content ones. They were user generated.
And usually most of the fun was had on those maps.
Yeah.
You look, actually, if you want to look at it like that, you look at the UO title, Call of Duty UO.
Well, yeah.
That the entire concept of all the innovations of that game, all of they were all mods that just let's clump all these awesome mods into an awesome title. At the time, it was Call of Duty was kind of a big thing. All these user generated maps, it's like, hey, this is a fantastic map for this game type. All right. And really it was a bunch of guys that got together and said, hey, let's just put all this stuff into one package. I can't remember what the studio they called it, and boom, here's Call of Duty UO a year later. Look, I don't even know. Ooh, I do have that. Hang on.
Was that Treyarch?
Way over there in the shelf. What the hell's the name of this company? Grey Matter. Grey Matter. And they turned into Treyarch. So.
Yeah.
Back in my day, games came in boxes.
With like
You had
talking
to
about this
actually
Titanfall,
physically
though.
go to a store to buy a game.
Talking about this Titanfall though, I don't care. Like,
No. It's Call of Duty and Tribes mixed together, it looks like.
yeah, it's Call of Duty with jetpacks. That's essentially what it is.
And it's going to be full price for the next 4 years at least.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Xbox One exclusive for how long?
Eternity.
Yeah.
Nah.
Maybe. When it comes out with glitches, and they're like, sorry, we have to fix it before we release it anywhere else. It never comes out.
Yeah.
I'm getting quite tired of shooters.
I am partially hoping that this thing fails. I'm not a fan of Weston Zampella and the way that they decided to do things at the Call of Duty level. their departure from Activision. Nor, I should state, for that matter, am I a fan of Activision and the way that they're doing things or did things at that time and continue to do things. I just think people should have a little more credibility than what we're led to believe occurred in that entire situation. Creating a multiplayer-only game to try and save some money without having any content. I don't know. Multiplayer-only game should come out for $15, but we know that's not going to happen. This is going to be an $80 title.
Yeah.
I believe you can already pre-order, can you not?
Oh yeah, you could probably pre-order it and get yourself a full-size robot that you can climb into to play this game. It's the $300,000 special order gold edition. That actually would kind of be cool. Just so you know, go into someone's basement. They got
They'll
this
go the way of
full-size-
Halo and make it only big enough for your cat to fit into.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Not
So you
shove
can
cat's head into this helmet.
pre-order just like a regular edition for $60, or you can get, let's see, the collector's edition, which is $249.99, and you get a statue and a book and what looks to be a poster.
Wow. That's one expensive ass poster.
Yeah, you get an 18-inch figurine, so that means Foyle's buying this now.
18-inch.
That's his collection.
Okay.
Wasn't there like a $1 million special edition of Grand Theft Auto or something like that you could
Saints
buy?
Row 4.
It was, yeah,
It came with a car?
Well, it didn't come with the car. It came with a ride in the car, but you got to basically be like a coke lord for the day and, go snort blow off a clown's penis somewhere in Nicaragua. But it definitely there was an expensive edition of some game.
That's hilarious. All right.
no, not mental image.
Sorry, I just reminded
See,
Welshy he's got to go down to Davies.
No, that's not where I was going. In my head, the whole time, the background music is just do 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 do. That's where my mind went. Do 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 do.
Well, they have a.
And the clown is not smiling in this. He's a sad
The
man.
clown is not smiling. He's a sad clown,
Yes.
but he's got a different kind of squirty flower.
Okay.
God.
I don't know. Where were we?
I don't know. I don't even remember.
Speaking of
Wow.
monetization, Plants vs. Zombies didn't monetize. Uh-oh, what happened there?
What happened
I clicked the wrong thing.
There we go. It was him, not us.
There we go. Got it fixed.
He clicked
Plants
that
Plants
clown.
vs. Zombies did not monetize as well as EA would have liked. There you go.
Yeah. So I found this
Damn shame.
during a little article about how PopCap's their CEO is going to step down and the new one is going to take its place. And the new one that's going to take this old CEO's place said that EA and wasn't happy with Plants vs. Zombies 2 and its monetization, how well or not well it did, which I think is stupid considering that Plants vs. Zombies started as a PC game, then spread out to the mobile space, but Plants vs. Zombie 2 was a mobile exclusive game.
That's why it didn't monetize as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, just even this idea that you want to charge for bits and pieces of the game too, it's so alien from how it originally started.
Thank you for buying our game. You can either have plants or zombies. The other one will be
But not
released
both.
DLC that you have to pay for.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like a pretty boring game. What'd you get out for the new app? Well, plants. Oh, I got zombies.
Oh, we can trade like old school Pokemon.
Can we play together? No.
No,
It'll
because that
cost you to
requires
trade.
social interaction. You can't have that if you're on your phone.
Yeah, that's true. You used to with the Pokemon. You used to have a cable. And you had
Sorry,
to
I'm
have
not
the
going to
cable.
look at anybody or talk to anybody. I just have to stare at my phone until my bus ride gets to my street, and then I'm getting off. Don't look at anybody. Don't make eye
I
contact.
feel like buying like microtransactions on the phone is a lot of hard work. Like when I do it on my computer, it's really easy. So take Counter Strike for example.
Don't-
When I buy
don't tell them
millions of keys for Counter Strike, all I do is click a button to add some funds, buy my key. On the phone, no way am I doing that on my phone.
See,
That's fucking
and
hard
now you're
work. I'd have to
telling-
type in the number.
You're provoking them to further monetize. Stop it.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah,
I never use microtransactions.
I never give my credit
Not
card
once.
information out to strangers on the internet. Never.
Not once have I bought microtransactions in games.
No.
Apart from maybe Guild Wars.
Yeah.
All right. How about picking out a couple more topics out of the whole list that we can talk about, because I think we're close to an hour of recorded content.
Recorded content. Yeah.
DayZ, the actual proper game version, is coming out. Yeah.
DayZ.
The only good thing about that is it means all those freaking idiots that trying to play Armor will leave and start playing that instead.
I guess that makes both
Hey,
camps
you're an
happy.
idiot. Stop playing Arma. Go play DayZ.
Yeah.
But this is the game that's nothing but griefing, isn't it? Where you
Yep.
you spawn in
Yep.
your own. Yeah,
Pretty
okay.
much, yeah.
When people shoot you, and then you have to start over. And
Yep.
okay.
So
Just
that's
making sure.
Welshy's problem. Is he's saying they're all playing Arma and shooting Welshy.
Yeah.
You'll have a job. You gotta. The AI will kill me before anybody else.
Yeah.
Or Breesy.
Breesy will kill you.
Damn right.
Yeah, we've had issues.
When I do it, it's on purpose.
Well, to be fair, I killed us all playing Arma once.
I remember that. Yeah,
To be fair, with all the keys, it's hard to remember which one's the grenade button. All right, just saying.
that is true.
Mine was the one where the mission wouldn't end, and it was because I, as the commander, who had no business being a commander, but somehow I ended up being the commander, had to blow the bomb up as we're all huddled around it like a campfire. So,
All right. What else? You like in the list? Nothing. huh? Everything
That
else is-
Division looks cool, but I don't know if it's ever going to come out on PC.
who does?
Yeah, it's looking at.
Division.
Oh, Tom
Oh.
Clancy's The Division. Ubisoft
Yeah.
came up with this sort of. It's like what is it? A tech demo? What'd you call it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a
A Snowdrop
presentation,
engine.
because they're not really demoing anything.
Does it look that good? I don't know. It looks okay.
I thought when I saw the sort of full resolution, it looked good.
It looks cool, but they're being really kind of cagey about whether it'll ever come out on PC or not.
I think they said it would.
Yeah, I got a feeling I read something that they said it would.
Well, I hope so.
And if it
'Cause
does, I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, because it's co-op. It's I don't know how many players co-op. Probably 4.
Well, it's MMO, isn't it?
Well, essentially, yeah.
It looks really good when they go over the technical details. Or this is not the video I was familiar with, but there's one where there's some sort of sultry sounding lady going over the technical details, and once you really think about it, it's like this is nothing that no engine is not already doing. No sort of really advanced one isn't already doing. But it looks nice though. It gotta give it that. It looks pretty great. We'll see how it holds up though.
Yeah. Because I'm already imagining network issues.
Food
Yeah.
and water will be very important to the game.
Oh, maybe not.
Oh no! So they're saying they're going to try and do what Stalker tried to do
Yes.
when it first started, where you had to eat, you had to sleep, you had to drink. It had a 24-hour day and night cycle, blah blah blah, and
It's
and
an
in the
always
end that all
online
got
game.
cut out.
It's an
But you know what? That said, I
It's aimed
think
towards be sort of similar to a zombie apocalypse sort of setting, isn't it? But it's not zombies. It's like a plague.
Yeah, something like that.
so
So
that's kind of what Stalker was sort of like that, and you had to battle and you know what? I think if a game with Stalker's original intent was to be developed now, it would probably be good. Yeah, a survival game shooter where you actually have to.
Isn't that
No.
just DayZ?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't make it that open world. Just because looking at the griefers that populate DayZ no matter what.
Well, but aren't you going to essentially get that in any game of that type?
Yeah, but so make it a single player game. That's
okay,
what I'm
maybe.
saying would work.
you,
A
now that I'm-
multiplayer scenario like that is not going to work because you have nothing but griefers.
Now that I'm looking at this video, and it's always online. There's no single player component. What I'm thinking right now is that this is going to be a better looking Defiance. I'm not sure if anybody's played Defiance.
Yeah,
or
that's
something
what I
like
was thinking when I looked at it.
It's got sort of
Well,
you're going to be
I kinda-
specialized.
the co-op aspect is what kind of pulls me into this because it's you're playing against other players than AI humans, I think.
I mean, Defiance has similar type stuff where you play with other people, and sometimes you're aided by NPCs. But if it takes place in a world, they never claim it to be a persistent sort of world, in that what you do sort of persists. So I can imagine you blowing up cars, and then you come back, and that car is still there because it respawned. I can imagine that you will go and find people giving you quests that you have to turn in. So that's while it looks great, that's probably some of the details they aren't showing you right now. And we all know how that kind of plays out.
The thing that interests me with this is if food and water are something that you need to play the game, is it going to come to the point where groups of people are going to take certain areas where you get food and drink and sort of try
yeah.
hold them off? So you're going to have
Well,
to get a
yeah.
group to try take it back?
It's going to turn into the PvP servers on Star Wars, isn't it?
Yeah,
Where you
that's what it
couldn't
sounds
really
like.
you couldn't really leave the safe area because you'd go outside and there'd be like 10 level 50s just sitting in a ditch waiting for
Get
you.
ready to molest you.
But if it's team based,
Yeah.
then I don't see a problem with that as much.
Well, I
No,
don't know.
I would
This-
quite
the
like that if
details,
that was the case.
The details on this aren't that much at the moment. I'm hoping it's going to be similar to Borderlands co-op style, where you're mostly playing against AI people. They've obviously shown there's PvP because they were doing it just right a few minutes ago in the video. But I'm hoping for a more kind of Borderlands kind of experience in terms of the co-op. So you jump in with your friends, you do your missions, you run back to your base or whatever. And the drone that was flying around is being controlled by a human person as well.
On his tablet.
On his tablet.
So I'd quite like it if it was a case of groups of people sort of working together but against each other.
I think that's
I
what
don't
they
know if
kind of
that's
go for.
because I think that's more because I tend to play with other people sort of during the week, and that would be something that we'd all get involved on, to actually jump in and like hold certain positions and sort of have a more sort of team based side to it against other people.
Yeah. I suppose we'll see. I feel like they aren't showing some of those details just yet.
No,
those details that
Like it's Ubisoft as well, so they usually
Yeah.
sneak something in.
where it's like the game looks great, but then this is how it's going to play when you start up a session. This is what you can normally expect from every session. That's what we're not being shown just yet.
Mhm.
So waiting to see.
Do we know when this is supposed to come out?
No, I don't think so.
I think it's this year though, right? Sometime this year.
It's supposed to be this year, but
yeah, we've got to factor in a couple of delays.
And you got to factor in Ubisoft.
yeah.
Who just pushed back, what was it, the other one? The Watch Dogs one?
Did they?
Yeah, I think so. For some reason.
There's no real information. Okay. I don't know. Okay. So we can call it, or we can squeeze in one more, because I know Ham sometimes likes to...
Ham will squeeze them in anyways, so...
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude like that.
What really excites you here, Ham?
I think if we have to talk about one that grinds my gears, is that
ground ham.
Sony patent covers adding new content to classic cloud-based games. So Sony is basically, they got a patent on modding. That's what it really boils down to, because it's a patent on adding content to old games, which is kind of ridiculous. But in this case, I think they specify that it's for cloud-based games. So when they're going to be streaming games, I guess via Gaikai. Does
that still exist? I just hear nothing about that service.
Well, Sony
Which is supposed to be on
purchased them.
Samsung or something, or
You can save 50% by switching to Gaikai.
15 minutes will save you 50% or more. Well, Samsung was going to include it in some TVs, but that was sort of shortly before or after they got purchased by Sony. So I'm not sure if that was still sort of on track for Samsung to release some TVs that way. I'm not sure if Gaikai as a service went away. I mean, there was that big hoopla when it came out as a competitor to OnLive. A lot of people said these are the advantages versus OnLive. Sony bought them, and their strategy was they were going to use them to offer backwards compatibility for PS3 and older games. And that's pretty much the last we really heard of it. But this patent basically says that they can add, I guess, trophies and remix some certain levels or add new quests, or sort of, I guess, the sky's the limit. But they can do this for old games that they're streaming. To me, once you strip away all that sort of fancy language, it just sounds like, yeah, we got a patent to mod our old games, or manipulate save states or something like that. So it's weird, but I thought it was worth mentioning.
Yeah, it's supposed to launch this year. It was originally supposed to launch next year, 2015, and now it might launch 2014. Just as a heads up as to what's going on. That's why we haven't heard anything, because it's being stalled.
So I don't know if
I'm not interested in stream play.
Nope.
I am, but I'm not. I am interested because I'd like a central server that's a super powerful computer that I can access with greatest ease wherever I am. But since that can't actually happen, the greatest of ease part, then it's not going to happen. No, I don't want to stream my games.
Yeah, I'm on Gaikai's site right now. They no longer have any, as far as I can tell, any demos of games that you can sort of play directly on the site to show how their streaming works. So I guess they're all in bed with Sony now.
Mm-hmm. What did you post there, Stryder? Something about
that's just
kind
of clarifies what this is all about. I think the patent is so that they can modify the games that they are going to be putting on cloud-based without having to say, you know what, this is an entirely different game. It'll allow them to increase longevity of legacy titles. So,
yeah, by adding new content.
Yeah, mini games. They're calling it.
Maybe they'll look at.
So I'm not 100% sure it means what you're saying is, but I don't think it's as sinister as you're making it out to be. Not that I'm going to defend Sony in any way, shape, or form, but it may not be as sinister as.
It's just I just find it to be weird that they got a patent for it, because it seems like stuff that's already been done. The only innovation is that they're doing it for streaming games.
Yeah, but in this day and age, didn't someone try and file a patent for the patent filing process?
Yes, they did.
The hell is that?
Oh dear God.
I have no idea how I came across that.
Let people know what you're talking about. All these the images of all the games. Yeah, I've seen this. This came out a year or two ago on Google. Did anybody post a link? I will, I guess.
Word of advice though:
Figure out
turn
how
off
to
the
copy
sound because it is the loudest.
Yeah, it's
thing
really
ever.
annoying.
It's 8-bit. 8-bit breakout.
Yeah, Google grabs a whole bunch of Google images and then it turns it into a game of Breakout for you.
Of something like that's interesting.
Yeah. All right. You guys can play that. I will close the show. I will say thank you in this new order. Breezy, thank you very much for joining us today.
No problem.
Han, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right. And Stryder, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, it's always an adventure.
Welshy, thanks for joining us.
Hey,
No
how did
problem.
it get reordered?
I don't know.
Restart, remember?
You're starting.
Oh, maybe.
All right, so and I'm gonna thank everyone who decided to stick it out with us and go through the reboot and everything like that.
Don't hate us.
It'll be one long episode instead of two short ones come the release.
Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is
Ooh,
James,
that's
and
not what
today I have
wanted
a
at
bunch
all.
of...
Oh my
Wow.
God.
I want the closer
Wow.
video, which I thought was up there. Okay. So thank you, fans of Mods Online, fans of Mods On Air.
And
we'll be back
James.
again. And James.
I'm
We'll be back
James.
next week.
James, you joined us at the end of the show.
Happy gaming. Thanks for watching this week, and come back next week when we will broadcast another live show. Details for this and all past episodes can be found at modsonair.com. We welcome your feedback via email at mailbag@modsonair.com. And please consider subscribing to modsonline.com to support our show. The opinions expressed by individuals on this program are not necessarily the opinions of our sponsors, owners, or partners. I don't have an ending video. So,
Just imagine
The
that
end.
clown. Let's go back to the clown.
clown. The sad clown. I'd be sad too.
Or you can imagine baking pancakes.
Somehow that is worse because now that song is going to be stuck in my head. There it is.
Right on cue.
Why not? That's a good way to do 2015. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned for the commercials. Click on all the links in the commercials. Every single one of them. Every one of them. And then go rewatch this on YouTube and click on all those commercials too. It's your duty. All right, bye. Boom.
I want some pancakes.